Plot is real. Former FBI top official confirms deep state anti-Trump plot by Amy Moreno for truthfeednews.com. Anyone who doesn't believe in the deep state is living in a fantasy world. The deep state is real, and according to this former FBI deputy director, they actually do have a government-wide, quote, plot to take down President Trump. From the Western Journal, a high-ranking official in Washington continue to shift or be terminated entirely. One official claims there is an obvious answer, an internal plot that aids Hillary Clinton. As reported by the Washington Examiner, former Assistant FBI Director James Kallstrom stated on Sunday that the issue was part of a larger conspiracy to protect Clinton during the 2016 presidential election, though she ultimately lost. I think we have ample facts revealed to us during this last year and a half that high-ranking people throughout government, not just the FBI, high-ranking people had a plot to not have Hillary Clinton, indicted, Kallstrom suggested on Fox News Sunday Morning Futures with Maria Bartiromo. James Kallstrom, they've ruined General Flynn, and because they threatened his son, they bankrupted this guy that gave his life to this country. Kallstrom, who had been on the FBI for 27 years, also claimed that numerous officials had a scheme to pin the blame on Trump for any alleged interference from Russia during the election. They had a backup plan to basically frame Donald Trump, and that's what's been going, Kallstrom said. The former FBI official added that this so-called plot to rig the 2016 campaign goes right to the top, insinuating that both former President Barack Obama and former CIA Director John Brennan had been conspirators in it. It goes right to the top, and it involves the whole strategy. They were going to win the 2016 election. Nobody would ever know this stuff, and they just unleashed the intelligence community, Kallstrom said. Look at the unmaskings. We haven't even heard about that yet, he added. Look at the way they violated the rights of these American citizens. Kallstrom further went on to cite text messages from Peter Strzok, who had been the FBI counterintelligence chief before being dismissed himself, that allegedly prove there had been a backup plan to frame Donald Trump as a Russian agent. This whole thing is a total phony, Kallstrom said about Special Counsel Robert Mueller's investigation into the Trump-Russia collusion. How would you feel if someone had a phony scheme about you go on for months and months and months, he asked. Absolutely. Further pressure has increased on the current administration in terms of transparency as Attorney General Jeff Sessions announced the termination of FBI Deputy Director Andrew McCabe, whose own firing was similar to that of former FBI Director James Comey. According to Sessions and Trump, McCabe was dishonest and lacked integrity, something Kallstrom suggested is rampant right now in Washington, especially in the handling of those he claims did nothing wrong. I hope General Flynn sues a lot of people because he was handled so bad, Kallstrom said about Michael Flynn, who had resigned only weeks into the Trump's administration taking office. He didn't lie to the FBI. They didn't even interview him about a crime. He was in his legal authorized mode when all that happened. And this is a former FBI, so he knows what the deal is. But nobody else jumped up to say anything in our government, right, about Flynn. Kallstrom insisted that though there are numerous other lawmakers and officials in Washington that have committed felonies, General Flynn was never one of them. They've ruined Flynn, and because they threatened his son, they bankrupted this guy that gave his life to this country. He added just the whole dealing. Look how they dealt with the IRS. There are so many things they have done badly. Yeah, because look, it was a plot to not let Trump, if he got in, that insurance policy was the dossier. And that whole Russian collusion thing all stemmed from that dossier. Phony dossier, discredited dossier. FISA warrants were being reissued every 90 days, all on that phony dossier. Not one judge has prosecuted for being lied to, so the judges are just in cahoots with this deep state. So there you have it, basically, but it is a shame what they did to Flynn.
Halstrom is the former assistant director of the FBI. He joins me right now.
It's a long one.
It's good to see.
But basically, if you want to look that up, I have the article on my YouTube channel with Bartiromo and James Halstrom. But that's what they did to Flynn is what they wanted to do to Trump. Just take him out of the presidency. That's basically the bottom line. And the plot is real. And I also read other articles that 75% of Americans think that America is run by the deep state. So what does that tell you? The only thing, see, with Gowdy, he did a complete turnaround recently on McCabe. But I question Gowdy because he says that Mueller is upstanding. And then he also said the deep state, what's the deep state? Like, come on, Gowdy. You're hip to all these things. You're not stupid. Like, if we know about it, Gowdy doesn't know about it. And so he was denying that the deep state exists. But again, on Zero Hedge, it said 75% of Americans think that that America is run by the deep state. So I totally agree with that statement. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. And again, thank you so much for watching.